Welcome from wherever you are joining us today. I trust that God will bless you through today's teaching. I'd like you to join me as we discuss on today's special topic. Let's talk about love. Let me tickle your imagination for a moment. How would you respond if, as a guy or as a girl, you receive a chat or a voice note from someone very special, someone very adorable, and the chat or the voice note says, I love you? What will you imagine? What do you think the person who sent you that chat or that voice note meant by saying, I love you? And how are you most likely going to respond to that very message that says, I love you? My name is Green Ademola, and I'm the lead pastor at Purebreed Christian Church. It will be my pleasure today to be the pilot that will guide our conversation today regarding the topic of love. As someone who has done a little bit of mathematics, sometimes when we want to solve equation, we like quadratic equation, for instance, we'll do what you call elimination. So you try to eliminate certain options so that you'll be left with a few options which likely will give you the correct answer. I think the issue of love has been interpreted in so many ways, such that if we are not careful, we stand the risk of misunderstanding what love is. And so, to begin today's conversation, I would like to first of all disabuse our mind and help bring some clarity as regards what love is not. So, if we know what love is not, we may now be left with option to regarding what love could likely be. Before I dive further into the topic that is on our hand today, I just want to make a quick announcement of our latest baby in Purebreed Christian Church, and that is a devotional, the Rapture devotional, coming to you from Purebreed Christian Church. It is designed to be richly a blessing to you, to prepare you and I, especially in these last days that we are in. You can find this very devotional free of charge on our platform, on Facebook, on other channels as well. We are on Facebook, we are on TikTok, we are on Instagram, and we are also on YouTube. This devotional will be coming to you by the grace of God, and it is very, very rich, and it is also free. Things that are going to be happening and unfolding in this end time. Don't forget, we are strangers here on earth, but there is a need for us to prepare, and this devotional will definitely prepare you by the grace of God. So the first thing I want to put out here clearly is that you and I need to understand that when we say love, love is not the same thing with infatuation. Most times, especially for young people, when they hear I love you, the thing that kicks into their mind is nothing but infatuation. So you see somebody, and then the focus is on physical attraction, how the eyes of the person look like, the shape of the body, and then based on that physical attraction, you feel or you think that that is love. I just want you and I to understand that infatuation, which is focusing on physical attraction, is by no means love. Love is totally different from what infatuation is. Another thing that love is not is, that rush of excitement and that, butterflies in the stomach and fantasies in your mind. So, for instance, you just receive a voice note and somebody say, I love you. And the next thing your imagination begin to think of some fantasies here and there, some excitement, some fun. That is not love. That is infatuation. And infatuation and love are not the same thing. See, the thing about infatuation is that that feeling, that excitement, that butterfly, those fantasies, often than not, they are feelings, though intense, but they are only short-lived. They don't last long. Sooner or later, reality dawns in, and then you see those excitement will just fade away. And that is why it's always advised that no matter how you feel or you think you are in love, you need to give a little bit of time to process and to allow for that initial excitement to fade away. What now remains after that initial excitement will then prove to you whether actually what you are thinking or feeling is love or not. One thing about infatuation that makes it different from love is that infatuation lacks that deeper connection and that commitment, which I'm sure as we go on in this series, you will understand what I mean by commitment and that deeper connection. Because many a times when people say, I love you, they don't really take time to process how much commitment goes into that word love and how much connection also goes into it. Many a times, infatuation is just about instant moment, urgent gratification, just to satisfy certain urge or certain feelings. But that is not love. I also want you to understand that love does not mean having sex, because especially for many people who don't understand what love is, the moment they hear I love you, the next thing that comes into their mind is, wow, it's time for me to have sex with that person. And that is because they lack the understanding that love and sex are two different things altogether. And some have even, laid that claim. You say, if you really say you love me, then why are you not willing to sleep with me? Why are you not willing to have sex with me? That is just an emotional blackmail. That I love you does not mean I should have sex with you, because love and sex are two different things. A lot of girls have fallen victim because the guy will tell them, if you really say you love me, prove that you love me. And the only way they are asking to prove love is by saying, come have sex with me. The same thing with boys. A lot of boys too are falling victim of such. Say, if you really know you love me, prove your love for me. And the only thing they are trying to talk about is sex. I just want you, especially that is listening to me, to know today that you love someone does not mean you have sex with that person. You see, love involves giving. There's no doubt about it. But giving sex outside of marriage as prescribed by God is not a gift. It is actually a sin. So you don't go contrary to how it has been designed and think you are doing the right thing. Love and sex are two different things, and you need to get it clear. Some have even gone to the extent of emotional blackmail to say, if you really say you love me and you are depriving me of sex, you can see that because of that, I am now, what you call now, emotionally depressed. And they begin to say things like that just to whip up sentiments and emotion. And because of people who are not wise and who are not strong, they yield to those deception and they say, well, I don't want him to feel bad. I don't want her to feel bad. If really I care, if really I am a good person, then let me do this thing that will make the person happy. That itself is a deception. Giving your body in sex to somebody is not a proof that you are a caring person or you are a loving person or you are a good person. That is why in this series, by the grace of God, my responsibility, I trust God, will be to at least, first of all, help you understand what love is and what love is not. So clearly, I want you to understand, you that is listening to me today, that when they say I love you, it does not mean that you should have sex or demand sex from the other person, because love and sex, like I said, they are two different things. See, I will really want you to have a proper understanding of what love is and what love is not, because to a very large extent, a lot of people have died with their dreams unfulfilled. They never became what God wanted them to be, primarily because of a misunderstanding of what love is. So I do want you to know today that love does not mean losing yourself. There is a uniqueness about you, your identity, your purpose in life. You were not meant to be like another person. But I've seen and I've heard of so many people who blindly, all in the name of I am in love, in quotes, they have lost their identity, they have lost their dreams, they have lost their purpose. So you see, some people will change their beliefs, for example, to prove their love for another person. I've seen people who, were raised from a background of, integrity, respect, humility. But because they want to belong to a group, to a gang, to a club, to an association, they now change their values, that value of humility, that value of respect, that value of kindness. They throw it away and then they pick up the negative values and character traits of the association or the gang that they want to belong to, all in the name of they love that gang, they love that person, and then they throw away their beliefs. That's a big mistake. That is not love. That is actually you destroying your destiny, destroying your identity. I've seen some people who have changed their style of dressing, their hairstyle, and they copy some other person's hairstyle, for example, because they consider that person to be their idol or their crush. And because they love that their idol or they love that their crush, they abandon their own natural design of their shape of their head and the best kind of hairstyle that would have fit their own head, and they begin to barb their hair or weave their hair to match the style that their idol or their crush is wearing. Again, that is not a proof of love. That is only you trying to lose your own identity and then become a carbon copy or a shadow of another person. So that no matter how you admire somebody, it shouldn't make you to lose your own God given identity and your own uniqueness. Some people have thrown away their dreams. They were born and they were designed to be something else, to pursue certain career, to pursue certain ministry, to pursue certain life adventures. But because of their misunderstanding of what love is, they throw away all of those their dreams and they begin to try to become like another person. Back then in secondary school, I know there are some students who left their class that they were recommended to stay in and they go and join another class because their friend whom they claim in quote they love is in another class. So maybe you were supposed to be in commercial class, but your friend is in science class. Then you will leave that commercial class that you have a better understanding of and you go and stay in science class because you want to continue to be with your friend. That is not a demonstration of love. Actually, that is a demonstration of foolishness because now you have left your natural turf, your natural terrain, the course that God had probably designed for you to excel and to do well in, and you are pursuing to be in another course because you want to be with your friend or because you want to be with your group or your gang. That is a misplacement of vision of priority. See, I can go on and on, but the point I want to make is that a lot of people have lost their uniqueness, their identity, because they want to show love for others. I want to beg you that is listening to me, don't fall into that trap of losing yourself, losing your identity, throwing away your values and your belief system, all because you want to please another person. That will be a mistake that, whether in the now or in the future, will really, really haunt you. So, like Miles Muro said, the richest place on planet Earth is the cemetery, because in the cemetery, you will have a lot of people that never became what God wanted them to be. And part of the reason why that happened is because, all in the name of love, they abandon their vision, they abandon their goals in life, and in the name of wanting to please others, I love them, they go to copy others and they lose their authenticity. May that not be your story in Jesus' name. This is the much we can take for today, and I thank you sincerely for being a part of today's ministration. I hope that God has blessed you through what you have heard. I will greatly encourage you not just to be a hearer, but be a doer of what you would have learned in the course of what has been said today. By the grace of God, it's a series that will continue for several weeks to come. I will encourage you to stay connected to us every Wednesday, every Saturday. By the grace of God, we are normally streaming live, and it will be great for you to connect with us so that you will continue to be a part of what we are learning and how God is transforming our lives positively through the things that we are learning. So I encourage you, join us same time next week, 8 p.m. Nigerian time, as we dig further into this discussion that we started today about love. God bless you.